Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Slavic Languages live. This is the live show dedicated to Slavic languages. Welcome to the Slavic Languages Hub. This is the channel in where we talk about Slavic languages, and it's mostly about us connecting live. Let me just turn on the lights. So as you've noticed, I've changed the schedule a little bit. Now I'm streaming maybe once a month on the Slavic Languages Hub. I used to stream more often, but I had to change it. So every week I stream on different channel dedicated to different language family. Last week we were streaming on the Romance Languages Hub. 2 weeks before on the Germanic Languages Hub. And before that on the Ecolinguists channel. So the show is just split into different channels. So this way we are able to focus on one language family at a time. But next week there is going to be a stream on the Ecolinguists channel, which is going to be open to all, and we're going to improvise language challenges, like all kinds of language challenges, including the Guess the Language challenge also. So you're welcome to join next week, but this week is all about Slavic languages. So welcome back here. As you know, this is a show that you can call in, and we make this show together. So you are very important part of this experience. So if you called before, or if you registered before, you don't have to do it now, but if you're new to it and you'd like to join me today in the stream, there is a link to a registration form. After you register, you will get an email with instructions on how to join the stream. What you need to know is that even if you registered for the Ecolinguists channel, for the Ecolinguists live show, you have to register again for this show, because it's a different show, and I keep them separate, so you would have to register again to be able to call. What else? What's important is also that before you call, just think about what kind of challenge you'd like to do. Would you like to run a challenge? Would you like to be a guesser or a participant? So think about it. We definitely need someone to run those challenges. I can run challenges in Polish, but we would love to hear other Slavic languages as well. So think about what kind of challenge would you like to run if you get through. And there are a number of formats that we could use. We could use the traditional classic word description. You would describe a word in your language to us without revealing the word to us, to me or another guests. And then we would try to guess what you're talking about. Or you could just come up with a sentence in your language and have us translate that into English or other Slavic languages based on cognates. So think about that before you call in. You may want to come prepared, so we don't have to waste time during the show for you figuring out what kind of word you would like to describe or use in the challenge. And if you need any help with that, I would suggest you Google or just go to any kind of random word generators. Like I have it here. It's a random word generator for Pictionary, because that's kind of what we're doing here. It's kind of a linguistic Pictionary. So we don't do any drawings, but we draw with words, so to speak. So you could use that and generate some words in English and then take inspiration from that and use words in your native language for the challenge. Or you could actually Google it in your language. Actually, it would be even better, and find words like that. You can just type something like generator słów in Polish, right? And then you would have some Polish words generated for you, and you could use them in the challenge. By the way, if you're a Polish speaker, you're also welcome to call in, because you can take part in the challenges, or you can also run a challenge that you could come up with. Because yes, because we want to hear other Polish speakers on the show also, not only me. So you are welcome to call in. And even though English is our intermediary language, I decided to use English for the Slavic Languages Hub, just so we are able to reach more people, basically. And if I stick to Polish only, we would only have audience that speaks Polish, so we would not be able to do the kind of challenges that we really want to do on here. So you are welcome to call in. The line is open now. We're going to be here for about an hour or so, and depending on who is going to call, that's going to be the show of today. Dobry wieczór, dobre wiecie, dobry wieczór, siema, привет, Katiusza. I Czarto, I think that you're saying that you are at the wedding party? A, w Weseliu, też czekam, a w Weseliu są na show. Weselisz się na show. Myślałem, że może jesteś na weselu. Wesele in Polish is a wedding party, wedding reception. So no, weselisz się. Cieszysz się na show. What else to tell? Yeah. And if you have any questions, meanwhile, while we are waiting for people to call in, you can ask questions about anything, and we can have a discussion. So in the chat, you can write questions in the chat. Sister Ray is asking, it's actually a very good question. What is the most cross-understood Slavic language? I don't personally speak any. So I think that you're asking about a language, a Slavic language that is easy to understand for most people, for speakers of most Slavic languages. So apart from the inter-Slavic language, which is a constructed language, and by design, it's supposed to be understood and comprehensible to all Slavic languages speakers. There are some that claim that Slovak is the language that most Slavic language speakers understand easily. Well, so far we did on the Ecolinguist channel, we did Slovak. Can Polish speakers understand Slovak? And it obviously it went very well. It was very easy to understand for Polish speakers. It's very easy to. I believe it's the closest language to Polish, basically. So it went very well. But I don't recall us making any more videos with Slovak as the main language. Yeah. So if there is any Slovak person watching us right now, it would be great to run more experiments and run more challenges so we could find out. Yes. Hello, cześć. Usim привіт. Usim привіт, Julka. Lothario, yeah, Slovakian. Yeah, that's what I just said about the Slavic language that is the most understandable to speakers of Slavic languages. But I'm not quite sure. There is a question from Humbug. Do you have to be a native speaker of some Slavic language to join? You don't have to be a native speaker. If you studied any Slavic language before and you just want to test yourself, you're welcome to call in also. So this show is for people who are interested in the Slavic languages in general. So you don't have to be a native speaker. What is it, Slovak or Slovakian in English? I think that both forms are correct. I've heard both of them. Maybe I should put it like here. Yeah, that looks much better. Rokolań. Hello Norbert. Cześć Norbert, czy znowu będziesz streamować Sims po polsku? Uczę się polskiego i bardzo mi to pomogło. So Rokolań is asking if I'm going to stream The Sims in Polish again. It's nice to hear that you liked it. I loved it. I had a lot of fun streaming it. I'm not sure if people on this channel are very interested in that, because I checked the statistics, the analytics, and not many people watched the part 2 of my Christmas special. So I'm not quite sure if I should be streaming The Sims in Polish on this channel. But if enough people is going to ask me for it, I might just create a separate channel just for Polish learners, and we're just going to play with The Sims, because I like The Sims, playing the video games, just because it's so much fun, and it's basically what you need in your language learning is exposure to the language that you're learning, and you need context, and it's always very difficult to create context through just writing dialogues or reading something. When you see it, like in a life simulator, like The Sims, you can hear things that you would normally hear while being immersed in the language, while living in the country that of the language that you're learning. So if you're learning any language, let's say Polish, right? You would like to live in Poland, ideally, and immerse yourself in the environment where you hear people speak Polish and use it in everyday life. And using it in everyday life means that lots of things, a lot of words or a lot of things are implied, which means that by the context and the situation that you are in, you generate language that it's very difficult to hear otherwise, because you need to be part of the situation to get it. Because a lot of the language is referential. It refers to things that are in our surroundings and in social situations. So I think The Sims is great for that. And the good thing about The Sims is that it's also available in many different languages. Well, it's definitely available in Polish, Czech, Russian, Bulgarian, I believe. I'm not quite sure. When it comes to Slavic languages, I'm pretty sure it's available in those three: Polish, Czech, and Russian, and many other like Korean or Spanish, French, Portuguese, obviously English. But before you install the game, you do need to make sure that you check how to install the game in the language that you want to play, because it's regionalized, which means that the game is the languages available for the game are different in different regions of the world. So you need to make sure that you download the game from the right location, so to speak. Úgyhogy köszönöm szépen, Rókalány, a kérdést. So yes, so that's The Sims. That's The Sims. So if you have more questions about, you see, I really like talking about that, because I didn't really play that game for a very long time. I mean, since I was like a teenage boy. But I think there is just so much that changed in the gaming in video games in general. It's just such a massive thing now. It's bigger than the movie industry, I think, at the moment. Like, people are so into gaming, and I think I was like missing out on that, because I was not into video gaming at all. But I think The Sims is particularly good for language learning. The problem with The Sims, just one more thing before we move on to something else, is that it's great for language learning, but it's all based on text. So even if you play the game, all you can do is just read all the commands or the little notes here and there. So reading is also important, but what you really want to do when you're learning a language is hearing the language. So that's why I started playing the Sims and making commentary to it, so you can actually hear the language and learn through hearing, because that's just better, I think. At least that's how I learn it. And there is a question I missed, I know. Andrei Varonov, is the origin of the Glagolic alphabet is Greek? Yeah, so I can't really answer this kind of questions, just because I'm not an expert on the Slavic languages. So you probably, if you've watched my videos, you know that I'm just enjoying them as they are. I like learning new facts, but I'm not actively researching. I'm not trying to make videos like in an academic style, simply because I have a different approach. I just want to experience the languages. So we're doing language challenges, we're playing computer games, we're trying to connect with humans and just learn through doing things and interacting. But if there is an expert watching this, and if you have anything that you'd like to share with the community, maybe make a presentation about something that is very specific for Slavic languages, any Slavic language or all of them, And if you would like to share your knowledge with us, you're welcome to contact me, and we can arrange a presentation, whether it's in a form of a live stream or maybe a separate video, just so we can learn something. We can all learn something. But I am not actively doing this myself, just because I'm just juggling too many language families at the moment, and I'm also doing some other things in the background, so I can't do that. But I've building this community, this platform, so we can share the knowledge and learn together. Just contact me if you'd like to use this platform to share some interesting linguistic research, for example. Köszönöm a választ, én is letöltöttem a Sims-t lengyelül, nagyon sokat segít a nyelvtanulásban. Nagyon jó. So, Rokolány downloaded the Sims in Polish, and it helps her a lot in her language learning, so that's great. The sad thing is that the Sims 4 that I actually play is not available in Hungarian. This is so sad, because I wanted to play it in Hungarian, but the Sims 3 is available in Hungarian, but the Sims 4, for some reason, they dropped the Hungarian language for this iteration of the game. So that sucks, really. Yeah. And then maybe you could do also other games or play some online games in Polish. Yes. Yes, I think it would be fun to do that also. There are other games that I was thinking about, kind of a simulation thing also, but maybe just, working in the kitchen and making dishes. I mean, or renting apartments. There are games like that. And I think they can be fun to play, and it could be a fun way to generate content in Polish for Polish learners. But it also takes me time to learn how to play a particular game. Because as I said, I am not a gamer. I've just started, so it takes time for me to learn. But it's fun. And actually, speaking of games and gaming, there is the Discord server that you can join, the Ecolinguist Discord server, where people meet, and they meet in voice chats, and often they also meet there to play games together, because originally Discord was created for that purpose, for gamers, for the gaming community, so people would just meet up there and share their screens and play games together, make commentaries, and just make friends, hanging out together. So if you're not a person that streams on Twitch or YouTube and just wants to hang out with people and enjoy a video game that you like playing, you can just use Discord for that. But Discord community is also, now it's not for gamers exclusively anymore. It's for any kind of community. So we've got the Ecolinguist server, where you have different channels, voice channels, and maybe I could just show that to you. If I'm able to log in, because I often forget my password. Let's see if that's going to... This is not necessary. By the way, if you're just joining, you know that you can call me. You can call me in and we can improvise language challenges. Why nobody is calling me? Let me know if you have any troubles, because actually what happened recently is that there was a massive update to the software that I'm using for streaming and taking your calls. The good thing is that I can actually take more people during one stream all at once. It's not always a good idea, but it's good to have that option that more people can call in and wait in the line, for example. So that's a good thing. But maybe something went wrong and you can't get through. My interview mode is on, so you should be able to call. But anyways, let's see. Yeah, I wanted to show you. Yes. The Discord community. This is the one. Yes. So this is Discord. Basically, we have a number of channels here. This is a general channel where people just introduce themselves maybe and just chat about anything. And then we have more specialized channels, which are language memes, for example. Yes, there are some memes in all kinds of languages, language memes. So our community is very active there. What's here? Mochko. Mochko, I think it's a Slavic word, Slavic loan word in Hungarian. I don't know. Rokolány, maybe you could tell us if it's that language and what, and travel photos. Yeah, so our members just share some photos here, and then we have different categories, different corners we call them. Those corners are for Germanic languages, and these are the text channels, and then we have some voice channels. So voice channels are for people who just want to talk to other people using their microphone. You can turn on your camera if you want to, but you don't have to. You just enter the room, hang out there, and some people who also want to talk to you can join in. And this is a great place to practice your languages, or maybe to do the mutual intelligibility challenges on your own with people you meet there. There is Romance Languages, of course, and Slavic Languages Hub. Slavic Languages Hub. We've got people active here. There is one person already there in the mutual intelligibility. Hello, Alexander. So if you want to talk to him, you can just go and join the voice chat. And it's all free. This is a free platform. And it's managed by volunteers. Yeah, so this is it, basically. It's managed by volunteers, by moderators. So I'm very grateful to the community that it exists like that. And because at the end of the day, it's for the community. I am hanging out there occasionally, but it's for you guys to meet. So the channels that I create, they're supposed to be curating the community of people who are interested in languages and want to practice languages, and they are curious about other cultures and want to learn about one another. So there is that. And meanwhile, if you want to call, you have to be registered. The registration link is in the description box. Yes. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I started getting notifications. I don't need that. Rokolan, yes, Mochka is borrowed from Proto-Slavic. Yes, Mochko. What would that be in Polish, Mochko? The only word that kind of come to mind, because Mochka, by the way, is a cat, kot in Polish. So Mochko, Motek, maybe something like that. Something to do with knitting. If someone knows the etymology, then that would be, you can just share it in the comment section, in the comment section or the chat if you're watching live. And Yulka, now I'm more motivated in learning English. Yes, if your English is not great and you want to call, that's fine. If you think about a challenge, because I keep speaking English right now, but the moment someone calls in, we're going to switch to Slavic languages, hopefully. Yeah, so actually, by the way, coming back to the Mochka theme, Mochka is cat in Serbian also. So it's cat in Slovak, it's cat in Hungarian, Serbian. Maybe I should really quickly check. The etymology of that. Mochko. So a very good way to check etymology of words, I find it's very useful, is Wiktionary, wiktionary.org. It's in English, but I think you can also change it to other languages. Let's see. Mochka. It seems like it's a original word in Proto-Slavic for a female cat. So I think that the Polish word kot is basically a loan word from the Germanic languages. So that's interesting. That a word that is so basic was borrowed from the Germanic languages. But we have lots of words like that, like kartoffel, for example, and many other. So but it survived in other Slavic languages and Hungarian. Interesting. In Mačka in Serbian is more openly, not like O. Yeah. Yeah, in Hungarian it's Mochko. Mochko. So it's something between A and O. How do you spell A sound in Hungarian? So it's basically A with a diacritic, with a line above it that makes it a long vowel. A. Yeah, Rokoline, yeah. O is not exactly pronounced as O, but it's close to that sound. So the Hungarian O. So you kind of shape your lips as if you were trying to say O, but you say A in deep throat. So it's like O, O, moczko. Instead of maczka. Maczka would sound like more like Polish maczka, but it's moczko. And it's not moczko, because Hungarian O is more closed, like this. O, it's O. It's not O, it's O. I hope I'm doing it right. Hungarian has lots of interesting sounds, but it's pretty phonetic when you look at it. So it's not that difficult to learn, I think. But many Polish speakers, when they speak Hungarian, they do A instead of O. It's a very difficult sound. It's a very difficult sound because, first of all, it's spelled as an A. So your brain just wants to say A, as you would normally say that in Polish. And then when you have all kinds of vowels in one word, it's difficult to mix them up. Oh, Dario, the way you said it, it's the way it's pronounced in Croatian. Interesting, interesting. Yes, Wiktionary is great and useful. Yes. Generally, like Wiki, the Wiki thing is a very good brand online. You can just find anything these days. And Wikipedia and those wiki projects are great because they are kind of open source. It's made by volunteers. It's an open encyclopedia. So it's made by people for people. So it's a really cool project. Lothario, and S and Esh are the other way around compared to Polish, right? Yes, so in Polish it's the other way around. In Hungarian it's the other way around. So S is the sh sound and SZ is the S sound. And that's very important because sometimes you can say, if you mix them up, you can get yourself into very embarrassing situations sometimes. So beware. It is difficult. It is a difficult sound for non-native speakers. For example, my Polish friends who study Hungarian usually pronounce the word oblok as oblok. Oblok, oblok. Yes. Or yeah. Oblok. Oblok is Hungarian for window. And what's interesting, I'm just going to display this comment again. Oblok, in most Slavic languages, it sounds like obłok, which is a cloud. So the words that are related to buildings are often Slavic loan words in Hungarian. But it's very interesting how they changed, because obłok is something that you can see through the window, right? The cloud is something you can see through the window. So Hungarians, they just kind of associate that word with a window, oblok. But I think that there are some dialects of Hungarian in Slovakia, also that would say ablak, because there are some dialects in Hungarian that pronounce o as long a, so it would be ablak. Yes, and I think it's the dialect from Slovakia. I'm not sure now because it's been a while since I did my Hungarian studies. Yes, you see, like in Serbian, cloud is oblak. In my dialect in Croatian, we say oblak for a window too. Oblako. Yeah, you see, so it's kind of interesting. Maybe my theory about how Hungarians borrowed that word was wrong, and probably it actually was wrong, because Hungarians just borrowed that word from the Slavic people that lived around them. So it was already there. So that logic was that I explained about the seeing the clouds through the window. In Polish, it's okno. Okno. Which is very interesting too. Let me see if I can see the etymology. Yeah, I'm going to share the screen so you can also see that. I'm using the wiktionary.org. Old Czech okno from Proto-Slavic okno.
Okno.
I think you've heard that.
Okno.
That's Czech. Window. So in Czech it's also a window, and
Okno.
okno is Polish. But etymology of that is oko, eye. Oh, interesting. So the Polish etymology for the word for window, okno, comes from oko, which is an eye. That you can see clouds with your eyes through okno. Interesting. Yeah, so Lothario says obłok, obłoczek in Polish, they are more poetic synonyms of chmura, chmurka. In some ways, yes. Obłok. Yeah. But Paweł says that for him, obłok is smaller than chmura. We've got eye of the house, okno, instead of oblak, which is the cloud. Yes, that's interesting. Well, another very interesting Hungarian word is gerebie, for example, gerebie, which is the... What is it then? Actually, can you actually tell what that is in the comment section? How does it sound to you? Gerebie. Let's see.
Gerebie.
I forgot to stress the first syllable.
Gerebie.
Gerebie, because in Hungarian you have to stress the first syllable. Yes, Lothario, you are right, and Paweł. It sounds like grabbing. Yes. So let's actually have a look at the etymology of that word.
Gerebie.
Gerebie. Yeah, well, it comes from, it's borrowed from a South Slavic language, or from Slovak, hrable. But what's the etymology? Compares. Yeah, let's see what they say about that. Grabble. No, it's not very good information about the etymology of that, but it might be related to the Proto-Indo-European word for grabbing, because you're kind of grabbing the leaves and raking them. So there are words in Hungarian that were borrowed from the surrounding Slavic languages, and those words are typically related to agriculture, because Hungarians used to be nomads. When they arrived in Europe, they were nomads, so they didn't know much about farming, because they were more into hunting and doing other things. So so they had to learn how to grow crops and stuff like that. So they borrowed lots of words related to agriculture, farming, building, things like that. Okay, let's have a look at the comment section. Oh, grzebie. Grzebie, it's also very, very good suggestion, Paweł. Grzebie. Grzebie. To bury in the soil, for example, this kind of motion. We also have in Russian language. In Russian language, there is also a word tucha or tuga, tucha, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It describes a dark and rainy cloud. Chmura burzowa. So Lothario, off topic, because you're discussing the Celtic languages. English rake is Welsh cribin, and that's close to grabie. Interesting. So there is some connection. Obviously there is a connection in all European languages. Chmura tucha. Yeah, how to pronounce this letter? I'm not sure if it's ch or g. Let me just quickly check. It's ch, yes, so it's tucha. Ch, oh, thank you, Charto. Gryazowaya tucha. And it's interesting, tuczyć, it's a verb in Polish, which means to make something fat, like maybe a farm animal. You're trying to get them fat, so you tuczyć them. In Russian, grabli is a rake. Yes, so those are the words. Another interesting word, with Hungarian, just staying on the topic of Hungarian, since nobody's calling me, so I have to improvise. There is a very nice word which is called mező, which means a field. And it's also a word borrowed from the Slavic languages. Let me just open this up. I wonder if you know what word it's connected to. Let me maybe type it. Doesn't want to. Maybe I am mispronouncing it. Did I say mezzo or mezzo? Mezzo. Because mezzo is the word that I meant. Let me just spell it in the chat and maybe show you. Show it to you on the screen. Oh, it doesn't look good. Why I cannot change the color of it? Oh, because it appeared somewhere on the screen that I didn't see. Oh, no. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so this is the word mezzo. Let me see that. This is a Hungarian word for a field. So what word do you think it's connected to? Artemis is suggesting that it could be mesto. It's not. Meadow. I mean, semantically it's kind of close. Anyone else wants to add their guess? If not, I'm going to reveal it with Lothario. Miedza. Miedza is the word that it's related to. Miedza, which is the line between two fields in Polish, for example. Miedza. Very good, Lothario. You really you have either you have an amazing linguistic intuition or you've been studying this for a while. And you speak very good Polish. I think, are you a native Polish speaker? And I just saw someone calling me, but I didn't have time to take the call. I think it was Stefan. So Stefan, if you could call me back, I would be happy to accept your call. Okay, there are some interesting comments here. Igor, in Ukrainian it's mieza, mezha, like mezhdu, mezh, the word between in Russian. In Polish, między means between. And the word that I'm talking about is, let me just quickly see what's it's in English, because
bulk,
it's bulk or lynch sheet. Yeah, it's very not something that I spend a lot of time thinking about in English, you know, those words like
bulk,
or lynch sheet. So if there is any English speaker, they can correct my pronunciation. But what's interesting is that I know those words like in Hungarian or in Polish, but I would never think of that in English. It's kind of interesting that we just learn vocabulary that we need in their languages that we're learning. Rokolan, I'm not 100% sure, but I think miedza could be meździe in Hungarian. Oh, possibly. I think it seems to be related also. But you know what? There is a caller, so I want to add the caller, so we can take at least one call before the end of the stream. So we have Stefan. Stefan, you're going to join me. So get ready, and hopefully it's gonna work. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Stefan.
Hi.
Hi, Stefan. So maybe let's start with introducing yourself. Like, where are you calling from, and what languages do you speak?
Okay, I'm calling from Germany, and I do speak, of course, German and English. And I'm from a region of Germany where we have a minority language, and I speak a bit of Upper Sorbian. So I'm not a native speaker, but yeah.
Upper Serbian. I had Upper Serbian speakers on my channel long time ago. At the beginning, I had a conversation with Upper Serbian speakers. Great. So you said you are not a native speaker, but did you grow up like hearing it? Or
Yes,
why
grew
did
up
you
hearing
decide
it.
to learn it? Maybe why did you decide to learn it and get into it?
Because I thought it's an interesting language and it's in danger of dying out. Yeah, and just because I had friends who spoke it, so I learned a bit.
Okay, that's great.
Sometimes it's a bit hard to talk to the people in Serbian, to the native speakers, because they all know German. And sometimes you just switch to the easier language for all.
Yes, that's
Yes.
that's a common problem, because basically all Upper Serbians are bilingual, and
Yes.
so it's a bit more difficult to study. But I know there is a course for Upper Serbian, like 1 year or 2 years ago they launched it. I think it's free for anyone who wants to learn
Okay,
it.
yeah.
Have you been using this? It's an online platform.
Yeah, for some time, yes. But yeah, I also have a book and try to teach it to myself on my own, which was more or less a success. So yeah.
Good. So maybe you could come up with a sentence for us, just to try to decipher the language. Maybe a simple sentence. You could write it in the chat.
Okay, yes.
Maybe in the interview chat. It's going to be easier for me to
It's this. Okay, though this guest chat, I guess.
Yeah, it's the
Yes.
guest chat, so it's going to be easier for me to copy. And by the way, the language in Polish it's called Górnołużycki.
Yes.
Górnołużycki.
Upper Lusatian, yes.
Yeah, so
Some
it's
kind of.
Sorbian. It's the English name for that. So for all you watching, don't confuse it with Serbian. It's Sorbian. And the region in Polish it's called Łużyce.
Okay, so in Sorbian it's Łużyca.
Yeah.
Quite close, yes. Okay, I have an easy one. I guess easy one, so let's see.
Yeah, okay, let's see. So actually I see Jakub is also calling. Maybe we could add Jakub and see if he can join us also in this challenge. So Jakub, I'm going to add you now, Jakub. So get ready.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Jakub.
Hello.
Before we start, we were about to get into this Upper Sorbian challenge. But tell us, where are you calling from, and what language what languages do you speak?
Yes, of course. I'm Jakub. I'm from Czech Republic. So that's the reason why I'm joining this Slavic language hub's live stream. And I speak English, as I've shown already, but and I speak French. I hope quite well because I've studied on a Franco-Czech lycée, high school. So I think that I can speak French.
So you speak Slavic languages, one language from each language family that I cover, basically Romance, Germanic, and Slavic language families. So that's great. But for this challenge, it's going to be particularly interesting because Upper Sorbian. Some people say it's like it could be closer to Czech. Some people say it's closer to Polish.
I know about it. A little bit. You were talking about don't confuse it with Serbian, but actually here in Czech we call it, I think, Horno-Lužická Srbština, like Serbian. So we use that word for it.
So is it the same thing? So Srbština is also as the Serbian language?
Yeah.
So in English though, because that's what I meant, because Sorbian, I think that the name also is kind of related to the Serbia and Serbian language somehow etymologically, because but yes, as you see in Czech, but you add this Górnołużycka, right? Górnołużycka Srbština.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So let's.
On Sorbian, the name itself is Horno-Srbština. So
Górno-Srbština.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I know that there is a connection there, but in English the pronunciation is different. So they distinguish the.
In German as well. So
yes. Okay, so let's do that challenge then. I'm going to display a sentence in. Maybe I'm going to place it here. It's gonna look good. Yes. So Stefan, could you read that to us, and we could try. We'll try to.
Często Słowonka deszczuje.
Jeszcze raz.
Często Słowonka deszczuje.
Okay, let's think about it. Jakub, you can, if you have any ideas or questions.
I think that Wonka can be similar to outside. We in Czech we say venku. Something is outside, something is venku. So maybe, and deszczuje could be like with dashed in Czech, rain. So and dženca, so maybe dneska, like today.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
thinking about.
I did add the dot at the end because you didn't put any interpunction
Oh, yes,
there.
yes,
So is
yes,
that the
right,
right
yes.
one, or what is this a
Yes,
question?
that's the right way. No,
Is
it's the
it's a
right way.
statement. Okay, so I didn't really know what Wonka was. Like I just couldn't tell at all. But I could tell what Dżęca is today, dzisiaj. Deszczuje, pada deszcz. Dzisiaj pada deszcz. And Wonka, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't really know. Yeah. So,
Okay, so
who was closer?
you are both close, but Jakub is a lot closer, so he basically got everything. So it means today it's raining outside.
Today it's raining outside. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you see, you need a Polish and a Czech speaker to be able to
Yeah, often
decipher.
it's the case, yes.
Yes. So maybe Jakub, you could write the sentence in Czech. We could display it on the screen.
And
also,
how can I do it?
Yeah. Yes. And I'm going to copy this. And Stefan, you can meanwhile you can think about another sentence because it's
Okay.
going really well and I really like it. So let me.
Oh, sorry. I'll write it into the guest chat.
Oh, into the
Yeah.
guest chat would be better.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, I was a little bit unprepared with this, but let me do it live. 55. And Jakub, you can also think about a Czech sentence maybe for us to guess in a moment. Meanwhile, when
Yeah,
okay, but so meanwhile you can think about it, but let's read that first Stefan, then Jakub, then me, and we can discuss the similarities.
Okay, so Dżęca, Słonka, deszczuje.
Dneska venku prší.
Dzisiaj na dworze pada deszcz. Right. So we see that it's kind of funny that in every language at least one word is different. So prší, that means like pryska, maybe. Pryska is squirting. Pryskać in Polish.
Or like pff,
Yeah, that's
pryskat. Yeah, we say pryskat.
yeah.
And
So
if I would compare the Polish sentence and the Czech one, it's also pretty similar, I would say, because like pada dešť, we could say also, but we don't use it. We can, but we don't. We use the verb pršet, so it prší outside. Or na dvoře, dvorce. I don't know how to pronounce the R and the Z together in.
ż,
Like
it's-
because
ż.
because we have the it's similar to it sort of, but when I see Polish words with R and Z, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. It's so different and at the same time so close that yeah. Na
Yes.
dvorze, dvůr in Czech means like a space where you can do stuff outside. Also, dvůr, it has a lot of meanings. Also, it can be used as a name of a town. like Dvůr Králové. That means like a space where you can maybe you can also park at the dvůr, like a dvůr in a house, in front of a house, or
Could you spell it? Could you spell it in the main chat, not the guest chat, so I could just quickly display it like dvůr, right?
into the main chat. I'm not able to write here through this web app.
Not sure. I mean, if you're not able, then
Oh, but it's spelled DRU with a circle on top of it, and R, dvůr.
so it's
Yeah,
basically
it's basically like
this.
dvor, yeah, and that's pretty interesting
okay.
thing. Like we use you in that word, but actually when I would look back in the history, back then there will be written O, so we put a circle on top of the O, on top of the U, and so we can see that historically there was a O or UO sound. And it's also example of word kůň, which was before kôň, I hope. And so we put the circle on top of it, and kůň means horse.
So in Polish, it's dwór. That's the basic word, the dictionary form of the word, and then na dworze is the locative form, where gdzie na dworze, and you
Yeah.
can see how U changes into O.
Yeah, we also have it in Czech. Na dworze also. Na dworze.
Na dworze,
Yeah, the
but
same in Serbian, yes. We have this word dvor, which is basically a yard or a court. And if you are on this court, you say na dworze. So, yeah.
yes. So you guys, if you could write those things into the live stream chat, then all the people who are watching could also see that, because in the interview chat those things only I can see and they're easy for me to copy, but if I want to display something really quickly, it's better to put it into the live stream chat. If you see that option, there should be an option there, unless I disabled it so people don't cheat during the challenges. I might have disabled it a while
I can
ago.
read the comments, but
If you can read, you should be able to write them as well. But meanwhile, in Serbian, the Serbian version of the sentence would be Danas na polju pada kisza. Na polju, which is interesting because in some parts of Poland, outside is basically na polu. Lothario, w Małopolsce. Dzisiaj na polu pada deszcz. Also, so pole is a field, and in that region of Poland, people tend to say that, to refer to outside. And just one thing related to wonka is that in Polish we do have the word won. It's an expression which means like go away. It's very rude to say that. It's very rude to say that, and it just means get away. And usually you use that for dogs. So if you use that for humans, it's very offensive. So yeah, there is this kind of thing in Polish, but it's used in a different way. Okay, so that's what's interesting.
yes.
In English, that would be off with you. Lothario, thank you for being here and teaching us all this. Oh, and another connection, Wonka with Wonka. I wonder if there is a connection there. I never thought about that. Wonka, you know what Wonka is?
Maybe not.
It's a meadow. A meadow.
Wuka. Okay, yes.
Meadow where like cows graze, eat grass and stuff. How would that be in Czech?
I'm not pretty sure what you mean, still. Meadow.
Meadow, like a field of grass.
Field of grass
Field of-
for cows, like maybe like where cows do eat the grass.
Yeah, yeah.
In Czech, it should be pastva, like pastce with the or animals.
In Polish, it would be pastwisko. Also, pastwisko. But that's a very specialized meadow, because meadow could also be just for other purposes. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have Wuka, which is just a meadow, and is for grazing animals is called pasture.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
very
so quite
interesting.
similar. Yes.
Oh, you said Luka, so maybe it's more like a Louka in Czech. Yeah,
Could
where
be.
we can also put animals, and etc.
Louka,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Louka. Yeah, that's interesting. So I think that, you see, this is such a simple example of a sentence, right? And we spent so much time talking about it and looking at all
Yes,
the
I
connections.
thought it would be simple. Yes.
But we
and-
can make it very complex. Yes, Jakub.
And as we were talking about the Czech word that I can or sentence, but I've come up with a word, maybe just one word for right now that I can put as an example and a challenge for you to guess what it is. Can I write it down into the guest chat or where?
Yes, you can write it into the guest chat.
It's from another. Yeah, like this.
Let's see. Is it spelled with the capital letter, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. So that's the Czech word that we are trying to identify.
Yeah.
yes.
Can I read it? Right now?
Yes.
So it's květen.
Okay. So Stefan, you first. Like, what do you think it is?
So it sounds something like flowers. So kvitke in Serbian. So flower something. Yeah.
Flower something. Okay. I think it's
Yes.
I think it's April, the name of the month.
Yeah,
Kwiecień.
that's an idea. Yes.
Yeah.
You both are going into good directions. Can I explain it a little bit?
Yeah.
So Stefan was right. Květen, it means sort of like there is the base of květ, which is the upper part of the flower. But Norbert, you were also sort of right. It's a month, but not April. It's May.
It's May.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we in Czech have these like weird names for months. April would be duben, but also we can use April, like word April for duben,
The Latin
and
convention.
and also for květen we are using Mai. We can use, which is more close to May. But the official one is not official, but more common is květen.
Interesting.
So we have maybe if I can name all of the 12 months, it would be.
So wait a second. This is a very good exercise. We can try that in a second.
Yes.
So in Polish that would be Maj. We just say Maj, and in Upper Serbian.
It's Mai.
Maj.
We usually use, but there's an older name which is Ružovnik. Yeah.
Yes. So I've encountered this before, that in Slavic languages often like the names of the months are kind of similar, but then because of different geography and the further south you go, the seasons kind of moved a little bit. So kwiecień basically in Polish means the month that is all about blooming and kwiaty, flowers. So in other parts maybe it works differently. But following that logic, like because Poland is further north, we should be blooming. The plants should be blooming later than in the Czech Republic. So it's interesting. So it doesn't always work like that. But May is also very flowery month, basically.
Yes.
So good. So I think we could potentially just do that really quick run through the months in different languages. So maybe starting with Polish, then Stefan and Jakub, and we could just go in circles if you're okay with that. So let's start then. Styczeń,
Januar.
Leden.
luty,
Februar, so we are just using the Latin
Oh,
words.
sorry.
yeah. So wait, we could do it again. But Stefan, do you think you need to like quickly check or something just to make sure? That
Yeah, if I can find the older ones, yes.
So maybe if you could like quickly Google or something, or
do
look at your notes, because
Yes, I do.
I've put you on the spot with this.
Sorry. Just a question. You meant that we will say each month after each other, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
January, February.
So
Yeah,
we will
okay.
like compare them, and we will be able to hear them all at once. So yeah, so you can just say that. So just say one. So even like if in Czech you have multiple ones, you can just say one that you think is most interesting, maybe more Slavic, instead of
Yes.
using the Latin forms. Yeah, but Jakub, meanwhile, you can think about a sentence. You can think about a sentence. I will have a look. I will have a look at the chat, and apparently also in Croatian, listopad sounds like Polish listopad, but it means something else. Listopad in Croatian is October, and listopad in Polish is November.
Also November in Czech. Listopad.
And an interesting fact about Belarusian language: in Belarusian words, zvonki, zvonku, which is an adverb formed as z preposition plus root word vonka, meaning from outside, and adjective vonkawy, meaning outside, used as attribute. Dzięki, Olga. Dzięki. Okay, so Stefan, do you think you're ready for the months?
Soon.
Okay, no worries.
I'm at October now, November, yes. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, Jakub, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this. So let's start. Styczeń,
Wojciuszk,
Leden.
luty,
Mariuszk,
Únor.
marzec,
Nalietnik,
Březen.
kwiecień,
Jutromnik,
Duben.
maj,
Różownik,
Květen.
czerwiec,
Smażnik,
Červen.
lipiec,
Prášník,
červenec,
sierpień,
Śnięc,
srpen,
wrzesień,
Prośnięc,
září,
październik,
Winoc,
říjen,
listopad,
Nazymnik,
listopad,
grudzień.
Hodownik.
prosinec.
Bardzo dobrze. Cool. So, so that was
Really
interesting.
different.
Very, very different, but there was some similarities. Maybe, if you guys after the show could send me the spellings of that would be interesting. So maybe I could display it somewhere here, and we could compare that. Let's see what people said in the comment section. Croatian srpanj, it's July, sounds similar to Polish sierpień. And in Bulgarian, the word listopad means falling leaves, but it's not used as a month name. So that's interesting.
The same in Upper Serbian as well. So listopad means falling leaves.
Yeah.
So I get the month name I can think of could be November, October, something like this, but it's not the name of a month.
Yes. So
Maybe can I add something to September and October translation into Czech? Can I say something about it?
yes.
Because September is září and October is říjen. And as you will, říjen, it's derived from říje, which means where the deers and these animals are coupling and want to have babies. But also, if you want to, the říje is special term for it. And also, if you would go to this term for September, it's září, so it's more similar to like shining. Září, if I would say it, like to shines, it shines, it's to září. So the infinitive is zářit, but září is in a form of the month is it's a noun, so it's different, and it's not derived from something that shines, but also from říje, from like the preface or something where the deers are coupling. So we have two months named after let's say deer deer stuff.
Interesting. And Paweł says that his grandma sometimes would say brzezień instead of marzec. So in some Polish regions it exists. I never heard that though. Brzezień.
No?
Yeah, and Lothario is mentioning rykowisko, which is also the time when the deers jelenie ryczą, make this like roaring sounds. Rykowisko in Polish, so good. Yes, so what we could do before we go, we could do one more Upper Sorbian sentence, and then maybe the Czech sentence, Jakub, if you have an idea.
I have one.
Yes, so we're going to do that in a second. And I see there are some people calling in, but I'm not going to add any more today, because I will have to finish soon, so I don't want to add any more people, but we can finish the challenge that we just started with Stefan. So we've got this. Okay, let me just... here it comes. So let's read that first in Upper Sorbian.
Okay, mam słońco racho hać deszcz. Wójteś.
Okay, one more time.
Mam słońco rać deszcz. Wójteś.
Something was breaking up, so if you could read it one more time.
Okay. Mam, Sunco, Racho, Hach, Disc, Uitesh.
That's interesting.
I have an idea.
So,
So
yeah,
a small hint, it's connected to the last sentence I had.
oh, I see the connection there.
Me too.
Okay, yeah.
Just let me just have a vague idea. Okay, I have like a weird idea for that one. So Jakub, you can go first.
Can I go with that? So if I compare it to Czech, so mom, it's maybe it can be mom in Czech. So I have. Slunco, slunce in Czech could be sun. Radši in Czech maybe. I like more, like so, like more. Is this adjective in the not the in the comparative form maybe. Hach could be in Czech než, like rather than, like sort of. And dashed rain, Vojtež, maybe ve, like you. Tež could be in Czech you too, or do you like it too?
So what would be the whole sentence?
Do you like sun, or like maybe like more sunny weather? Do you like sunny weather more than rainy weather or rain? You too, or
Okay, so it's more like a statement here, right? The first sentence is a statement. So
Yeah, that's true.
like I right? Like mom is like I like, you said, I like sunny weather more than the rainy weather.
I think that like mam Ratsho is attached together. Like I like
Sun more than
together.
the rain. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I was just like getting the general sentence, the general translation into English. So you would say like I again, because did you use the word like in there?
Yeah,
Jakub?
or-
Just translate this sentence into English.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
one
I know.
sentence.
So you mean like in a more compact form, like I like sun more than rain. You too?
Good. And for me, I think you won this, but I think I originally thought it was something like I enjoy sun and the rain. I enjoy both sun and the rain. The sun and the rain. Do you too? Or yeah, I enjoy both the sun and the rain. Do you as well? Something like that. I know it's wrong, but Stefan, what's the correct translation?
So yeah, Norbert, you got close, but Jakub is totally right. So it means
Okay.
I like the sun more than the rain. You as well.
Okay, yeah, so that's correct, Jakub.
So in the so in the second part, this word vui is the special pronoun a Sorbian just didn't lose. So it's the pronoun for two persons. So for more than two, it's vtež. So we use v, but for two, it's vui.
Okay. So voi is plural or singular?
It's dual. It's for two.
Okay. So let's write those sentences into the
Yes.
chat. So this is the Polish version. We're going to read it in a second. And I'm just waiting for Jakub to write his sentence in Czech. Oh, it's actually dual number. Yes, I see that.
Dual number, yes.
Lotario, because I thought plural, and then dual, and because Lotario said, oh, it's interesting because dual number, we had that in Polish, but it's gone now. In some vernaculars, like in the countryside, you could still hear those, but they're not very popular. So let me just copy the sentence from Jakub, and we're going to talk about this in a moment.
Or maybe can you? I'll modify the second part. Yeah, I can take too good inspiration from Polish,
Okay, yes.
or it sounds better like it. Yeah, like that.
Okay, let's see the Czech sentence. Okay, so let's read those sentences. Stefan, you go first.
Okay. Mam słońcu radšo hać deszcz. Wójteś?
Lubię słońce bardziej niż deszcz. A wy?
Mám radši slunce než déšť. A vy?
Tak, I made a mistake there. Lubię słońce bardziej niż deszcz. So it's very interesting that Jakub immediately identified those grammar words that for me it was a little bit more difficult to get. Radšo, for me, it looked more like radość, which is cheerfulness, happiness.
Yeah.
That's why I came up with the word to enjoy something. Mam radość.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. But how did you get to that hatch, the meaning of hatch, Jakub?
Actually, it's like in the context or hutch, nesh. I don't know. It sounds pretty similar in the context. I would say, when I would see that word alone, I wouldn't think about it. But
I think what
in
gave
this
it away
sentence.
to you is radšo, because you got this structure immediately in your head, so it made sense for you.
Radši než, radšo hutch, maybe.
Yeah, and for me that was a tricky one. Yeah, so this time it's also turned out to be closer to the Czech language. Good. So I think we still have time for one more challenge, maybe this time with the Czech language. Just a dual number, like is v in Czech dual number, which means that it's referring just to two people or multiple people.
You mean V-Y?
V, yeah, V.
It's not just two people, like a group of people instead of me. Like you there. It can be also it can be differently. It's the second form plural. So like they, you there, the group there, or also formally you can say they to one person, or as you or you, they, they. You can use it
formally, yes.
formally.
But the dual number, which was more common in the past in many Slavic languages and still survived in the Serbian language.
Like oči, maybe like dual, like where you have dual structure.
Just two, yeah. So it's referring only to two people that you see.
That isn't the case of they.
Okay, that's interesting. So let's do the Czech sentence now, and let's try to decipher.
Yeah,
that
so
one.
I'm putting it into the group chat. Yes, chat.
Okay, so let me. Copy this, and here we go. So Jakub, could you read that sentence to us?
Zatloukám hřebík kladivem. Zatloukám hřebík kladivem.
Okay. Wow.
The same, yes.
I have some ideas. I can identify some words, but Stefan, you first, maybe. Did you see any similarities?
At the first glance, not really, I have to admit. But maybe I have to switch some things around in my head to.
How do you recognize any words? Any cognates here?
Okay, so Satlokam, something Satokam, yeah, maybe. But yeah, I really have to think so. Yeah,
Do you want a hint or something?
Maybe
Or maybe a visual one? A visual
no,
hint?
not visual. We want
Or-
something. We want a language one. So maybe what you could do, you could explain to us in Czech what
Okay.
kladivem is, and maybe what's the dictionary form, the nominative form of that word is.
Okay. So, takže, kdybych to měl teda říkat česky, tak kladivem je s čím je to 7. pád slova kladivo, 1. pád kladivo, bez kladiva, 2. pád, takže slovníkový tvar kladivo, kladiva.
Do
je
czego
to
służy,
nástroj.
co to jest? Możesz
Mam
kontynuować,
pokračovat?
tak. Kontynuuj. Ja się wtrąciłem.
Dále tedy zatloukám, může to mít více významů. Tady v tom případě se to tady pojí s kladivem a když to rozdělím na jenom tloukám, tlouci, tak to znamená udeřit něco. Může se jednat i o násilí, třeba tlouci někoho. Ale tady v tom případě je to provozováno kladivem. A koho co? Hřebík. Je to objekt, je to předmět, hřebík. Sloveso je zatloukám a kladivem spíš příslovečné určení způsobu.
Dobrze, ale powiedziałeś, że to jest... Jeszcze raz możesz powiedzieć, co to jest kladiewo? Kladiewo, tylko kladiewo. Do czego służy?
Je to slouží k zatloukávání, ale je to nástroj, vypadá jako písmeno T.
A jak wygląda?
Pardon?
Jak wygląda kladiewo?
Jako plurál?
Nie, jak wygląda, czyli jak oczami patrzę na to, co widzę.
Jak vypadá? Nebo?
Nie wiem, czy wypada. Jak widzę, patrzę na to,
Widzę.
co widzę, jaki ma kształt, czy duże, małe.
Vypadá jako písmeno T. Vypadá jako písmeno T. Kladivo, T.
Aha, T. Okej, dobrze. To myślę, że coś tam wiem. Stefan, czy masz jakiś pomysł? Do you have any ideas for this one?
Yeah, I guess I have one.
You can give us
So
your best guess.
Yeah, so for the first word, I have to think of the English one actually. So there's a Serbian similar, so it would be Satokac. So it's something to. If you have a paper and you roll it together, you use this word. So like, how's the English one?
Ja, jak to się mówi, zaraz zobaczymy.
Yeah.
Mash.
Mash?
Mesh. Okay.
So,
For me, it's like you mesh something with something, but I don't get the two somethings. Yeah.
okay. So
I understand the structure but the words. So the last one, cladivum, I have basically no idea. Clad. So I get the basic word is something like clad.
okay, so if it doesn't come to you, you just got the first part, the mashing.
Yes.
Like so, and what can you tell about the agent of the action? Who is the subject here?
So I do something.
Present tense
Actually,
or past tense?
for the last words, yeah, I have an idea. The Sorbian one, which is clutch something, but it's something like a pipe something. So I don't get.
A pipe.
I have no idea. Yeah, it's something with.
So to mash something with a pipe.
Yes, that's
Great.
basically the idea.
Great,
Yes.
that's the idea. For me,
I mash something with a pipe. Yeah.
First I'm just going to tell you guys grzebik. I thought about something to grzebać, as I already mentioned this word, to bury something, but grzebik sounds like a thing that does that. So I thought maybe it could be a comb for the hair, because grzebień in Polish. But because of the context here, something was maybe killed. Like, so I came up with the idea that I killed the beetle with a hammer.
Okay.
Because
hammer,
zatlukam
okay,
sounds like zatłukłem, which is I was beating something very hard. I basically killed something by hitting it in Polish. So I'm just using my Polish knowledge. And from what you described, the T-shaped thing to hit something, it's a hammer. So I killed the beetle with a hammer.
You're close,
Jakub,
but it's not a beetle. It's a nail. So I'm hitting a nail with a hammer. Yeah.
Wow, so that's very wrong.
That's very.
Yes, but we identified the tool. We identified the mashing or heating part, I suppose. Grzebik, that's very interesting. It's the.
But also, as you said, grzeben, we use it also in Czech. We have that word.
Grzebień.
Yeah.
We also have grzebyk, which is a small grzebień. Grzebyk.
We would say grzebinek, maybe, or
Grzebionek. Yes.
or just we also use maybe the zatlokat verb in a, like, say, more figurative way, as to lie to somebody. On zatloka, he lied.
But this is a past tense, right?
Oh,
This is the past
interesting.
tense.
This zatlokam, it's present. I'm hitting.
Okay, that's important. So now we can type the sentences in our languages into the interview chat, and I'm going to paste them and show them on the screen.
I'm hitting one nail, only one.
Okay, so let me. And Upper Serbian. So let's have a look. or actually we're going to go in this order.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's read that out loud. Let's start with the Czech language.
Zatloukám hřebík kladivem.
Wbijam gwóźdź młotkiem.
Bio hościk z hamurą.
Tak, bardzo dobrze. So, what we see here, hoździk. In Polish, it sounds like gwoździk, which is a small nail. Gwóźdź is a big nail, and gwoździk, gwoździk. Let me show that on the screen. Gwoździk is a small nail. I hammer, it sounds like hammer in English.
Yeah, that's German, yes.
It's a German.
Basically German loanword, yes.
With the instrumental case.
Yes.
Yes. And Jakub, do you have any comments to what you see?
Interesting is byl, like we can use it also in a Czech. Beat means like to fight somebody, or beat like hit, also hitting. But zatloukat, it's more specific to have an object in a hand maybe, and zatloukat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, to be honest, I think the Serbian better would be Zabiu hościk z hamurą. So we
Here
could
what
also
I
say this. Yeah.
Here what I see, because it's zatłukam, zatłukuję.
Yeah, Zabiu.
To me, it sounds like a perfective aspect of a verb.
Yes.
So we wouldn't use that in the present tense. We would use that for the past or future. So I'm not, but in Czech it might make sense. In Polish it wouldn't make sense in the present. It would either have to be past tense or future tense. Zabijam, zatłukuję. It's possible to say, but it's.
We have these when we have a verb and we add something before, attach in front of the prefix. Yeah, thank you. It can modify the verb in a manner that it's active or passive sometimes.
Yes, but it makes sense. It translates as I'm hitting the nail with the hammer.
Yeah, same for Sorbian. So the first version, bio means I'm right. I'm just doing it, and Zabio means I just do it, but there's nothing special about the time. So, or I'm finished with it. You can also say it like this.
Okay, that's interesting. And młotek, does it sound like anything?
Młotek.
Duży młot, mały młotek.
What?
Not really. Mlot.
Okay, maybe if that doesn't make sense, but
maybe we have Motsk, but it's coming from the agriculture. If when you have the corn and you hit it, that's this tool. However it's called in English.
You can check that.
Yes, I'll do it.
And I think in Belarusian, it's zabiwają ćwik molotkom.
Oh, okay.
Ćwiek. In Polish, we have the word ćwiek, which is in English. Oh no, I have to check that in English. What is this?
Brad.
Yes, I never heard that word in English. Brad, ćwiek. It's a kind of nail, I suppose. Ćwiek. And what else?
Yeah, Człowiek, like I look it up in a Polish Czech dictionary, and it translated as a zwok or cvoček. It's like it can be actually a type of nail, but actually we can use it on a, for example, on a shirt or something. Not actually a button, but something similar that you
Yeah.
attach on top of each other, and then it's hard to separate it. You can pull apart it, and
Yeah.
it could be cvoček or cvok, used on a clothing.
Yeah, that's a very technical term. I mean, people who make clothes and stuff.
Yes.
I definitely heard that before. It's just like very difficult to define because it's so
Or-
specialized.
Or actually, cvok could be a person which is. I know how to say it in French, but it's fou. Il est fou.
A fool.
Fool, maybe.
Yeah, sounds like, yeah. So, yeah, and then we have the verb mučić, which means to hit something.
Wow. To hit something, mučić.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, as
Flail.
I see in the comments, Richard says also, yeah, mlátit is to beat something or hit something.
It's interesting because mučić is it's a Polish term also, but we use it in farming when we like separate crops, like when you have
yeah, that was
crops.
also what I meant. So
You
that's
hit
the
them.
tool I meant. So mut, it's the tool you use to separate it. Flail in English, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely think it's related.
Or maybe actually I've come with when you're talking about the other instruments. So mlotek, maybe something to with like motyka. Motyka is also like a hoe which is
Motyka in
used
Polish.
on a field, but młotek.
And
Mlotek.
we have this studs on an armor, ćwieki na zbroi.
Yeah, it should be also cvoček or cvok in Czech.
Yeah, studded leather armor appears in many RPG games. Speaking of games, yes. Yes, and actually there was one more thing I wanted to show regarding gwoździe in Serbian is iron, which is interesting. And gwoździk is similar to gwozdej in Bulgarian, but we don't know what gwozdej in Bulgarian means. Maybe it's the same.
Maybe, yes.
Okay, so that went really well. I mean, not for me. We didn't get it. It was a difficult one, but we were able to identify lots of interesting words through that comparison. Yes. Let me just read some comments. I think it's Russian. Zabiwają gwoździ molotkom. Zabiwają gwoźdź molotkom. Thank you for the Latin transliteration. Yeah, and gwozdej in Bulgarian just means nail. So yeah, that's correct. Probably comes from what the Serbian word is, which is iron. So basically, all the nails are made with iron. Which how do you say iron in your languages? Iron.
Żelazo.
Żelazo.
Żelazo. In Polish also. So maybe West Slavic languages use that term, żelazo. Okay, good. So that's great. You know, we did a really good job with this, and I didn't expect the show to last this long, but I think it was worth it because we managed to have some really good comparison with the Upper Sorbian and the Czech language, which is great. So thank you guys for joining in today. We will be wrapping up right now. So I'm going to switch to this window, and thank you everybody for hanging out, and we've learned so much today. The show started slow, but then thanks to Stefan and Jakub who called in, we were able to run some challenges. So next week there's going to be a challenge on the Ecolinguist channel, so you can join me there. We're going to bring in all speakers of all languages there. We're not going to focus on only one. But other than that, the next show here on this channel should be 1 month from now. But meanwhile, I might do something, maybe The Sims or something more fun. Not more fun, something different, but something with gaming probably. I might try that again. So thank you so much. Have a great evening, everybody, and do zobaczenia. Cześć.